Why does understanding AI require philosophy? At our first meeting this semester last week, I presented a few slides on this topic. Some of you asked me if I could share them, but I think by themselves they're not that helpful. So I'm recording this video to explain them. I said that philosophy investigates concepts such as experience, meaning, understanding, and so on. One reason why it may be helpful is that it's investigating these on a very fundamental level, and hence is, or at least should be, open to further interdisciplinary collaboration beyond this fundamental level. For instance, I started my university education with an interdisciplinary study of AI and came to see that there are lots of fundamental questions that are in need of philosophical clarification. Now, as a philosopher at the Technical University of Munich, I'm discussing such issues with engineers about every day. By joining these discussions, you may advance your understanding of the foundations of science and technology. By interacting with people from other disciplines, you may broaden your horizon beyond your own discipline. And not only beyond your own discipline. For instance, last semester in a pilot seminar, we went to the new SAP TUM building and discussed there with people working in business AI philosophical questions concerning AI. Some of the authors of papers were read were there, and the global head of AI ethics presented on fundamental ethical questions. Through such discussions, you can explore real-world uses of technology. Philosophy can furthermore sharpen your thinking about how AI impacts humans and the life world, so you may better assess the technology's impacts on humans and the life world. Methodologically, philosophy takes a critical stance that helps you improve critical thinking. Besides clarifying descriptive questions, philosophy is also concerned with normative investigations. So by joining this discussion, you may enhance your ethical competence. Now, all of this is nice to have, but is it really needed for an understanding of AI? To rephrase this question, I updated an old analog movie with the help of AI. Let's take a look.
Apart from fundamental understanding, interdisciplinary collaboration, real-world exploration, impact assessments, improving critical and ethical thinking, what can philosophy do for my understanding of AI?
That's a truly timeless question. It brings us right to the crucial reason. In a way, it's so obvious it's easy to overlook. And that is that AI has two sides. On the one hand, there's the technical construction and the technical processes of AI. On the other hand, there's the transformation of human sense-making by means of AI. So if we go back to that slide from the very beginning, where I said what philosophy investigates, then we can see that these are exactly the things that AI is transforming. To understand better what AI transforms, it makes sense to look into these concepts. For instance, if you think that AI has a mind, you may agree to the typical anthropomorphic concepts of AI that are around on the internet. But even if that is the case, for some AI, even if some AI may have a mind, or may have a mind in the future, and that's a big if, there are lots of philosophical questions around that. Even then, this doesn't get you to all AI. You may overlook certain things that AI is doing. On the other hand, you may think that AI is dangerous in a way it's really not. You may be like Don Quixote, tilting against windmills. Now, I don't think there was anybody who actually fought against windmills, but there is one person who is literally fighting against wind turbines. So, in a course I'm teaching on the ethics of artificial intelligence, we're looking into the concepts of AI and the respective consequences. One question we ask, but that's really only one question, is, does AI really have a mind? And since many of the proponents of that belief also believe that humans are basically machines, that we are nothing but algorithms, we need to ask the question, are humans really algorithms? Philosophers do not ask these questions in isolation. We look into the wider relationships they have with other things. So we ask for symbolic language, technology, mathematical patterns, and so on in the complex relationship they have to the wider context of meaning, human understanding, embodiment, and so on. So in the course I'm teaching on large language models and the patterns of human language use, we go deeper into the weeds of human language use. You can find more information on these courses on TOM Online or on my website. On my website there are also a couple of papers if you really want to dig deeper. To conclude, philosophy is not about repeating something others have said. It's about incorporating philosophical insights into your own thinking. It's about developing your own thinking further. So I hope I gave you some ideas to think about further. I'm looking forward to our next discussions.